If you edit videos in Premiere Pro, I have a tip that can help you edit faster. Now this is really powerful if you edit videos that have multiple camera angles of the same thing, or if you want to like fake a second camera angle by changing the zoom on one of them so you can switch back and forth between your cuts so they're not so like jumpy. This trick can help speed up your editing time by easily switching between the two camera angles. Hey friend, Nick here with Glacier Rock Media, where we help creative entrepreneurs make better quality audio and video and leverage their content to grow their audience, their influence, and their income. If you're into that sort of thing, you might want to subscribe so you catch all my future videos. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to use multicam sequences within Premiere Pro to easily switch between camera angles. Let's jump in. The first thing I want to show you is how to make a multicam sequence. There's a couple different ways. If you have two legitimate different camera angles, it's super easy. You just go to those two clips. You can highlight, just hold shift or hold command or control while you click on it, and then right click, create multicam source sequence. I don't have two different angles on this one. So if I click this, it's gonna try to sync them up and it won't be able to. So you can just do endpoints, hit OK. It's gonna just make a multicam sequence and I can manually sync the footage if I had to. If these were two real camera angles, you could hit audio, hit OK, and it's going to actually sync the two angles together for you, which is a super sweet tool that Premiere Pro has. But in this case, I'm actually faking a second camera angle, so I don't even care. So I'm just going to hit endpoints. All right, so it made that multicam sequence. I'm going to just call it multicam. And I'm going to move it up here. I like to organize stuff into buckets because it's a lot easier to keep track of. So in Premiere Pro, when you double click on a sequence, it opens it in the timeline. When you do that on a multicam, it opens up the angles, which right now we don't want. So I'm going to go back here. So the way to open it on the timeline so you can edit it is to right click and click open in timeline. So now it's got all my files in here. So I don't need that one. The reason I highlighted two is because you can't make a multicam sequence with one clip. Although you can trick it. So let me show you how to do that. I'm gonna kill this guy and go back. So what you can do is duplicate your footage. Right click, highlight them both, right click, and do create multicam. So now I'm gonna make a multicam with itself. So it's the same clip, just doubled up. And I don't need that copy, so now I'm going to delete that. Well, hold on, let me open it. Actually, I can leave it because I would do this anyways in the next step to open in timeline. So now it's got my duplicated files in here. I'm going to unlink these and delete. My camera records 4 tracks of audio, and I usually only record 2, so I always delete that. And one track is my shotgun mic, and the other is the built-in camera mic, just as a backup audio source. Videos, I've done it both ways, and honestly, it sucks when you don't. Yeah, so I don't even want that audio, so let's just do that to make it easy. I'm going to drag this up to my sequences folder because I like to stay organized and don't like looking at clutter. That's my original multicam. You can ignore that. So what I do, if I'm going to fake my camera angle, is I make a copy on the line above it, and then I go into effect controls and I zoom in a little bit. You can kind of play with it, get it to where you like how it looks. That's not bad. So now I've got 2 camera angles that I can switch between when I'm editing. All right, so I've got it looking how I want it between the 2 clips. So the next step, you don't actually edit within the multicam sequence. You can add it to an existing sequence or make a new sequence and drop the multicam onto that and then edit there. Now I'm gonna open up this other sequence that I have that I edit from. Actually, why don't we just get all this junk out of here and drop the multicam on it. Do you struggle coming up with ideas? All right, so now I can edit using this. And if I make a cut, so do you plan your content? So let's say we want to cut that. Now I can hit the number 2, and now it just changed. Oh, look at that. That's a great frame to pause on. I can hit number 2 and go to the other angle. Or hit number 1 and go back to number 1. And you'll see the MC1, that means I'm on track 1. MC2, now I'm on track 2. And when I double click this, I can see the 2 different tracks, video tracks that I have. Of course, it's going to be the same because it's the same file, but if I had a video where I had a second angle from another camera, you know, once it's synced, same principle. It makes it really easy to switch between those 2 angles. You could even get crazy extreme and make a third one. Now I've got 3 angles to pick between. So each of these becomes the number that you hit here. Your content. Or do you even... So I can hit number 3. So now it's changed to the third one. Pretty sweet, huh? So you can see how it really speeds up your editing. So as you're going through, you make a cut. Now I want to make that back to camera angle 2. Let's say we make a cut there and there. I want to go back to 1. So now, without doing this, I would have to have my different camera angles in here or the same one. I'd have to cut and individually change the scale, move it around. So you can see that I did that one time in the multicam sequence, and now all I have to do is cut and pick which one I want to use. Now occasionally I'll want to do something different for one reason or another. Maybe I want to move something over, I want to change the zoom, whatever it is. There are ways around that. Like you could actually go and find the exact clip that you want and bring it over into here, or you can just go to 1. So here on track 1, it's the totally unaffected, not changed zoom, so it's 100%. You can switch to 1 and then just individually do what you need to do on this one clip, and then just clear that and go back to normal. So there are ways around it if you need to get individual on like one little part, but overall I use this on all the talking head stuff, all the interview things, anything where I have multiple angles or the fake angles of the same thing. This really speeds up the process. And for B-roll, you just add that to layers above. So if you've got I think I did some in this. I had some like screen recordings, so you just layer that on top
ahead
of
of time,
like you would anything else.
so you know exactly what you need to do.
Pretty sweet, huh? You don't add B-roll to the multicam unless if it's another angle of the same footage, which technically is not B-roll, it's another angle. You could put that in here, but if it's B-roll where like I'm talking about a mic and I want to show video of the mic, I wouldn't put that in the multicam. The multicam is just the holder of these different angles. So I hope that makes sense.
Okay, so I know it can feel a little clunky at first, and it's always a little challenging to try something new, but I promise it can save you time if you use multiple angles of the same footage. Or again, if you want to fake the second angle. When I was first introduced to multicam, I resisted it just because it was new and I didn't fully understand how it worked. But once I played with it a little bit, I realized how much more quickly I can edit videos using it versus the old-fashioned cut, change the settings, cut. Like, it just takes forever to do that. So this speeds your process up a lot once you get it down and get it integrated into your workflow. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe to my channel and share this out if you know someone who edits in Premiere Pro and they want to save a little time in their editing. Now I want to hear from you. What things do you do in Premiere Pro or whatever software you use that save you time in editing? Let me know. I'd love to hear what you say, and I'll see you in the next video. And if you don't use Premiere Pro, what are you waiting for? Where we help creative entrepreneurs, did it again. When I was first introduced to this process, where's my duck? Not my duck, my dock.